Hey y'all! Welcome to the Stitch and Story Lounge. This is where we stitch together and talk about stories. Sometimes those stories come from a TV series, sometimes a novel or an audiobook, sometimes a movie, and sometimes just life. This space is a soft place to land for busy hands and relaxing minds. There's no rush, no pressure, just yarn, hooks, needles, and a little light commentary for grown folk. So grab whatever you're working on, crochet, knitting, or if you're just listening, baby love, you're in the right place. Hey, come on in here, love. Yeah, you. Don't act brand new. You know this seat is saved just for you. First up, I want to fill y'all in on my whip, my work in progress. I'm working on a quick and easy shawl called The Wedge by Susan Kennedy. You can find her over on YouTube at Pretty Peaceful. I'm using Caron cakes in the red velvet colorway with a 7mm hook. And baby, she is behaving beautifully today. And today, our story comes by way of Will Trent, Season 4, Episode 1. Speaking of sharks. And ooh, baby, this episode's got layers. Trauma, therapy, and feelings that do not file themselves away neatly. Segment 1, Carrot Cake with Raisins. Okay, let's start this party off with me giving y'all a little heads up by saying it's been 5 months, and Will is not okay. The show opens in front of the Holy Grace Children's Home. Worn down, old brick, peeling paint. But you can tell it was a beautiful structure, but it has been so neglected over the years, just like our boy. And there's Will. He's throwing rocks at the door, a grown man in a pressed suit, looking like he got a calendar, a planner, and a LinkedIn profile, but throwing rocks and breaking glass like a hurt little boy. Lord, that is trauma in business casual. Private pain, public professionalism. And baby, you already know that. Bad bitch Betty is standing right there beside him. Not saying a word, not judging, not offering no TED Talk. Just standing like, okay, we throwing rocks today? Cool, I got you. I'm here for you, even in your nonsense. Now baby, that's the kind of unconditional love that our furry four-legged family brings. Then they slide us into therapy with Will's therapist, Dr. Roach. And Lord, what is that she got on? But I digress. Okay, pickleball, sunshine, fresh air, and Will's out there still suited up and acting like, ma'am, I'm just here for cardio. Dr. Roach is out there tapping on Will's feelings like, boo, I see you. You ain't fooling nobody. That is, until she hits that Angie nerve, and Will knocks that ball clean into another zip code. Then, in an effort to encourage him to have dinner with his birth family, she says, Will, you've been living on crumbs. Now you have the whole cake. And Will says, yes, but it's carrot cake with raisins. And baby, the look on his face said it all. He's not saying he doesn't want the cake. He's saying, I don't know how to enjoy what I didn't grow up with. Some of us don't fear abundance. We just don't trust it to stay. Now see here, this scene got jokes. And I'm not ha-ha jokes, narrative jokes. Segment 2. Family, Sharks, and the Devil's Waiting. Will is at his family's dinner table, sitting up straight like he's in somebody's job interview, trying to act like he knows what to do with relatives. You know that posture. The, I don't want to mess up in front of my new family posture. His nephew is talking about sharks. Big ones, fast ones, always moving. And Will is over there like, yes, incredible. While his inside voice is screaming, why are these people bonding with me? Now swish, they cut to a prison scene. And baby, James Ulster is sitting at a table with a younger inmate and a guard, like it's wine and crime Wednesday at the country club. Caviar, potato chips, casual conversation. Too calm, too comfortable. The chef did their thing tonight. Will's nephew is still talking about sharks in the ocean, while serial killer Ulster is one in human form with snacks. Back to Will's family table, and he's still struggling thinking, I love this, but also, how do I exit emotionally without being rude? Back to the prison, Ulster ain't thinking about food. He's thinking about timing, because villains don't rush. They wait like they ordered Uber Eats and tracking the driver. And the show is bold enough to cut between them like family, joy, healing, prison, snacks, evil. While Will is trying to convince himself he belongs, the man who ruined his childhood is over there warming up like he's about to enter the WWE. And as Will's still talking about sharks like it's National Geographic night, Ulster, the real shark, and his sidekick just slide out. A full-on jailbreak like they practiced this in the mirror. Yeah, I'm finna ruin everybody's peace. Because trauma don't send a calendar invite. Trauma don't RSVP. Trauma just shows up like, hey, bestie, you thought you was healed? And Will is still at the table, smiling politely, thinking this moment might be safe, while Danger is over there cracking his knuckles like, all right, let's be toxic. And the scene just lets it play out like that. Now, girl, this is where Will stops whispering his feelings and turns the volume all the way up. Segment 3. You don't get to tell me to calm down. Back at the office, there's a temporary deputy director, and he's talking like a filing cabinet with opinions. Clipboard energy, no soul, all audacity. And just when the tension in the room is so thick you could cut it with a knife, here comes Amanda. Even though we left her in a hospital bed unconscious at the end of season 3, here she is rocking in on a cane like, I may be injured, but I am not uninformed. She's off duty, but still very much there for her boy Will. But of course y'all all know how Ms. Amanda's style of love shows up. Rough and gruff. Now, Will pops off. Not poetic, not cute, factual. That man killed my mother. That man threw me in a trash can. That man built my whole childhood in trauma. And baby, the air leaves the room. Will loses it. Voice up, body forward, eyes loud. Like, don't you dare talk about him like he's just another inmate. Like, you don't get to manage my pain with office policies. He's loud. He's emotional. He's unpolished. He is very much not HR approved. He's human, and Faith sees it immediately. She slides in like, okay, baby, that's enough for today. And she doesn't escort him. She doesn't suggest. She pulls him out like, come on before you get promoted to unemployed. Because this ain't a tantrum. This is trauma finally standing up. Segment 3.5. Y'all, the team is back. Will is crashing out, but trying to hold himself together with emotional duct tape and professional posture, 'cause he done got kicked off the case as Faith walks him into Ormwood's little office. And Ormwood, love, he's sitting in that tiny makeshift office on desk duty, looking like life done sat him down and said, let's talk about your choices. Humbled, seasoned, a little bruised in the ego. Franklin, though? Franklin is steady as a Sunday pot roast, reliable, warm, unproblematic. The kind of man who don't raise his voice too often. He raises his eyebrows. Angie, She's over here trying to get Will to act normal, like he ain't spiraling quietly in a three-piece suit. And Faith? Faith is watching with dim eyes that say, I see you lying to yourself. But go on, baby. Finish the sentence. And then Will realizes everybody knew he was off the case before he even knew he was off the case. That kind of realization don't hit loud. It hits in the chest. But Angie, Faith, Franklin, Ormwood, not blood family, but somehow the family he grew into. This is chosen family, and chosen family hits different. Chosen family don't owe you. They stay because they want to. And Honey Bun? This is where the show started feeling like home again, because here comes the team, and they're gonna find that no-good jailbird serial killer, Ulster. They're all standing with their boy, Will, even though he's been kicked off the case. And all of a sudden, pop, the heaviness lifts just a little. Not because everything is fixed, but because he's not standing in it alone anymore. That's grown folk love right there. Not dramatic, not loud, not performative, just present, just solid, just saying, I'm here, even when you're a mess. And that, sweetheart, is everything. That's the kind of love that holds you up without making you feel small. Go team, go! Next thing you know, it's 3 in the morning. Segment 4, to 3 a.m. and the truth finally talks. Will, Faith, and Ormwood. Everybody's tired. Everybody's hungry. Everybody's irritated in that quiet way where nobody wants to say it out loud. Patience running low. Hope is hanging on by a thread like a loose button. And see, y'all, that's usually when miracles happen. Not when you're sharp, not when you're confident, but when you're worn down, feeling like all hope is gone. Cold calling. And Will is sitting there looking like he is carrying the weight of the whole case and his childhood on the same set of shoulders. Ormwood's going over more paperwork, trying not to be a useless turd. He ain't got nothing to do, and no one to go home to. Faith watching Will like, baby, don't you break right now. And then, boom, Ormwood finds it, a lead. And as many would say, look at God work. Just one little detail finally raising its hand like, excuse me, y'all been missing me. And all of a sudden, the room changed. Energy shifts, eyes wake up, spines straighten. And thank you, Lord, Will and Faith are out the door. Now fast forward with me. Love segment 5. Will you marry me? We're over here with Angie and the doc. And let me just say first, whoever did that prosthetic baby belly, they deserve a raise and a fruit basket. Because, girl, that thing looked real. The music is soft, romantic, a little, we about to cry, but in a pretty way. And wouldn't you know it, smooth as silk, the doc looks at Angie and says, Angie, will you marry me? Now, hon, the moment is tender, quiet, gentle. You can feel Angie's heart doing that little wobble between past and future. And then she finally says, yes. A soft yes. A careful yes. A hopeful yes. And just when you start smiling through it, the show said, yeah, no. Put your comfort back on the shelf. Because Love Bug, they cut us straight over to Will and Faith at a whole mass murder scene, at a cafe, or a steakhouse pretending to be a cafe. Child, I don't know which one it was, but I do know it's going to be closed for a good long time. Ulster's quote-unquote safe house. Because, of course, Why wouldn't he? Ulster got connects. Ulster and his sidekick are gone, but they left behind a crime scene that said, "We were here, and we were not polite about it." Bodies and blood everywhere. Chaos. Silence. And now it's on Will. So Will does what Will always does. He lets his little spidey senses do what they do. He walks slow. He looks close. He feels the room like it owes him answers. And between his instincts, a few clues, and some quiet Will Trent magic, they're off to Grandma's house. Because, of course, the trail leads to Grandma, Ulster's sidekick's only real connection, and she's about to have her whole evening ruined. Segment 5. Son, I got this. So, of course, when Will and Faith pull up to Grandma's house, and let me be clear, this ain't just a house. This is a whole nursing home building, full of seniors, hallways, rooms, and staff. But no Ulster, no sidekick, no welcome committee. However, somebody notices Grandma's bedroom window, and it is wide open. Open. Not cracked, not ventilating, but escape open. And when I say window, I mean the universal sign for some foolishness just climbed out and ran. So now they're running. And let me tell you, a nursing home chase scene is not the Olympics. It's walkers. It's wheelchairs. It's respectful jogging. And somehow Will finally corners him, and the kid starts talking. And what comes out of his mouth? Mess. Ulster done told this child he was his father. Told him Will was his brother. Baby, trauma be running multi-level marketing schemes. Now Will, gentle eyes, trying to pull him back to reality. And you can see it. The kid is calming down, breathing, listening. And just when you think, okay, maybe this can be saved, bang! The camera still on the kid. The sound don't match the moment. And Will turns around, and baby, just guess who it was. Sheriff Caleb Broussard, Will's biological father, standing there, gun in hand, like, son, I got this. Except he did not, in fact, have this. Because Will's face, that wasn't anger. That's heartbreak, betrayal, and childhood issues colliding in real time. Will is furious, devastated, confused. Because in his mind, that boy didn't need to die. He needed help. And now everything is broken again. Outside the nursing home, Will and his father argue. The argument is loud and heavy. And let's not forget, Will's not even supposed to be on this case, which makes it worse. Because now he can't even be mad officially. Now we cut over. Amanda and Faith are sitting on the curb. Amanda's got her cane. Her patience is low. Her spirit is tired. Amanda and Faith feel like that boy is about 3 emotional decisions away from a serious crash out. And this is when we know Will is cracking. And this episode is no longer about the case. It's about whether Will can survive himself. Segment 7. I'm the fiancé. No, I'm the fiancé. Now, back at the ranch, aka the station, Orma Wood bursts out that little faux office like the building just whispered his name 3 times. There he goes again. And child, guess what Orma Wood done found this time with his old pretty-eyed curly-head self? Ulster, That damn serial killer got himself a whole quote-unquote fiancé. And she's out here making relationship videos like she's on Love After Lockup Director's Cut, talking about how excited she is to see him, how it's game on. Angie and Franklin hit the road, rolling up with Ormawood as the sick-ass sidekick. Ha! And while they're staked out in front of the fiancé's house, Franklin starts dropping hairpins like, now hold on, wait a minute. Because love, he sees the ring. Angie is engaged. Child, the universe got jokes. And just when it's about to feel like a sweet little family moment, the show said, no ma'am and no sir. Let's give y'all some drama. Because now we got two fiancés, not one, two. And baby, right there out on the street. Ooh, child, there was a real knockdown dragout. I was here first. No, he loved me. Don't touch my emotional baggage kind of situation. And the wild part? Both of them hurt. Both of them believed. Both of them thought they was special. And that's when the humor hits you in the chest, because behind the mess, there's two women who got played by the same monster. Now everybody's back at the station, watching Franklin work his grown man magic. And baby, she finally cracks, gives up the ghost, and drops the little truth bomb that Ulster also had a relationship with her sister. Hot damn. Because nothing says serial killer like generational dating behavior. And suddenly, it ain't funny anymore. It's just sad, messy, and real. Because Ulster didn't just destroy lives, he collected them. And that, sweetheart, that's where the humor sits down and lets the heart talk. Well, well, well. Segment 8, Ashes, Recorders, and Lies. We can all guess that. No, the sister didn't make it. Angie and Will end up in the morgue together, standing with the sister, in that quiet that only death knows how to make. And Will sees the ring. Baby. You can watch his heart crack in real time. Not loud, not dramatic. Just that soft little break that happens when grief don't ask permission. And right when we about to feel bad for Will and his sad little puppy eyes, here comes Ulster. Chow, he's blowing up Will's phone like a toxic ex with unlimited minutes. And I'll be damned if that psychopath ain't done kidnapped nephew. Oh, all right now. Game on. Because that's family, and you do not play with family. Will finds Ulster, finds nephew, and without hesitation, no speech, no hesitation, no hero pause, Will trades himself for the boy. Because that's what grown men do. They protect what's still got a future. When the boy leaves, Ulster looks at Will and says, "It's time to die." And wait, Lovebug, because the show is saying to us, you thought that was enough trauma? Faith is taking nephew home, safe, alive. And just when you start breathing again, the call comes in. Ulster's getaway car has been found, and love, it's on fire, with Will's recorder and 2 bodies inside. And the show just sits there like, now, figure that out. Fire, ash, silence, questions, and one name burning in everybody's throat, Will Trent. And baby, they end it right there. No answers, no comfort, no mercy, just the cliff. Is Will Trent dead? And the only thing louder than the flames is the fact that nobody knows. That's where we'll leave it for tonight. So go on and take a deep breath. Set your work down, stretch your fingers if you need to, or add one more row if that's how you process. We'll be back soon to pick up the stitches and unpack whatever this man gets into next. I'll see you next time, love. You're always welcome here in the Stitch and Story Lounge.